Hello, everybody. So I'm very excited to be sharing another string lesson, and I have a special treat um, that I just discovered that I'm so excited about. I, of course, always have alerts in all of the academic and other search engines for string games, string figures, string stories. And one of the results of that was an article in an academic journal by a linguist who was studying the language that people use when they're sharing string figures and exactly how they talk about them and what's involved in all of that, and had some really interesting observations, as well as created videos of some kids and some adults doing string games together. And it's just marvelous. And he frames, or she, I think the author is a woman, frames the difference between the two videos that I want to feature. They're each only about 3 minutes long. One is an elicited video, meaning that she set up a situation where she asked the kids to be videotaped um, as a kind of demonstration. And so you can see the kids feel a little stiff, um, and but they're obviously still enjoying themselves. But it's a distinct little piece. And then the other video is where they're doing it. It's still kind of staged, but it's more in the way that it would actually happen in their village. This is among the Sepik people in Papua New Guinea. And um, there's a group of younger kids. These are teenagers, two teenagers who are doing the figure together. And it's a two-person figure where they have to go. They start with one hand only on each string, on one string, the two of them, so they each have a hand in, and then they're passing it back and forth in really interesting ways. I was just fascinated by it. And in the second version, they then pretend to hold have the bananas that they made with that's part of the story of the string figure they're doing, and they hold their hand out as if this is where the bananas are, and now we're going to sleep in our sleeping mat, and then a bunch of rats come and steal the bananas, and these littler kids are the gang of rats, and they come and they steal it. And then you see the kids trying to untangle that's they're eating the bananas, is untangling the string. And the two girls then get them to come nearer to them, and they each have a handful of ashes, and they blow ashes at the rats, and the rats scatter. I just thought it was a delightful little story and encounter, and a wonderful example of the sophistication and intricacy of both the figure making and the storytelling that goes with string in a culture that's very different from ours. And yet these are people with a sophisticated understanding of what they're doing. It goes back to my big lesson from the interview that Wole Soyinka gave. There's one humanity or there isn't. And we know there is. That's what string storytelling allows us to experience. So I'm so happy to be able to do this. I'm not sure what's happened to my students. They were supposed to come, but anyway, I will go ahead. They were going to be joining us for, this is what I wanted to have as the main lesson, is my version of a traditional story that actually in the traditional version, it's called The Candle Thief. And I don't like the idea of exemplifying thievery and, oh, here we are. Hi there. How are you?
Good.
All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, but we can't see you that well. You're kind of...
Hold on, let me try this.
You're kind of like where your black is. We can only see half of you.
Now you should be able to hear me better. Yeah? But you can't see me very well because of the way this...
We can't see.
There.
There we go.
Now I'm on. Okay?
That's
Hi.
good. Yeah.
Welcome. So I was going to teach the figure of the grandma's candles. Have I ever told you the story of grandma's candles? No. It's an old story from England, and the actual original version of the story, they don't even, I had to change the title because the story was originally called The Candle Thief. And at the end of it, somebody sneaks into grandma's house and steals her candles, and then the police come and take him away to jail. And I didn't like all of that, so I changed the ending and I call it Grandma's Candles. So you start with the string on one hand, just half of position one, right? So now you have one string on the palm and you pull it all the way down. And now you have a new string on the palm. And this time you're going to pull it down, but make sure you come out a little. So you make these little hooks on the sides. And now this is very like the way we do the scissors and the octopus, but this is the same figure or almost the same figure, is done slightly differently. So, oh, and you know what? I'm doing that way and not the way that you're supposed to do it for this. So I'm going to have to change. Okay, let's see. Wait a minute. Now there it is. Oh, you know what? I can't remember how to do it the way you do it for, so I'll go on with this method. I'm going to have to look that up. So we pull down once, we pull down the second time, and now the pincer fingers go inside, and we pull these down, the outside too, to make the scissors. When it comes all the way through, it makes the scissors. You got it? Looks like you missed something, Bernard. Let's go it again. Okay, start from the beginning. Back to position one on one hand only. And now you pull down. And now grab the new palm string and pull it out and down. And now the pincers, yeah, you got it. Now the pincers go inside, and over here on the edge of the thumb, you hook down with your thumb, and over here on the outside of the little finger, you hook down with the pointer finger. And then you go down a little and out through the big loop to come out this way. So then when you pull it out, you should see the scissors like this.
Yeah, you got it, Wesley, and you're almost there, Bernard.
I twisted it a little.
You twisted something, And so then the important thing to remember is you got 1, 2, 3 fingers that don't have any strings on them. And then you want those fingers to go beyond the straight string that's underneath the 2 blades of the scissors. And they go over that and down into 1 blade. Middle finger goes in between the 2 blades. And the ring finger goes into the other blade. So that those 3 fingers are in there, hooked in. And now you take the strings that made the scissor tips and throw them onto the back of the hand. And then when you turn your hand over and open it up, the string on top is what you pull to make the bunch of candles that Grandma made. And that's what happens at the end. She then, and this is the really fun, tricky part. So she's made her candles. And now, let me finish the story and then we'll go over it again. So she's made her candles and now she hangs them up in the closet to let them get hard. And then she gets out her rocking chair and she sits down in her rocking chair and has a rest. And then it's after she has her rest that she takes out the scissors and cuts 1 big candle. And because I did it the wrong way at the beginning, that part doesn't work. So I think I just remembered how to do it the right way from the very beginning. And here's what it is. You don't actually start with position 1. See, I made a knot because I was doing it the wrong way for what I had. So you start like this, but then you put, no, wait a minute, that's not right either. Okay, here, now I remembered for real. Start like this, put it over your 4 fingers with your fingers pointing away from you. 4 fingers pointing away from you. Right now, the string that's by the little finger comes around the little finger and down. The string that's on the outside of the pointer finger comes around and down, and now it should look like that. Those are hung out. Now the 2 that are the one
Fred.
string in between those 2. Okay, you see what here's another way to show it. I have pointer finger and little finger with a string wrapped around each one. Starts like this and then goes like this with those 2 in the middle. Now you see it like this, and you're going to take this one and push it up over the middle finger and ring finger so it looks like this. Yeah. Okay? Now, the little one on the pointer finger, yeah?
Could you wait? Because Bernard needs to catch up a little bit.
Okay, let's go back to the very beginning, Bernard. Let's see if we can figure out another way. Bernard, show me the string just like this with the, right? Okay, now take the one that's out here by your little finger, hanging down behind the little finger, and go away from you and in between the little finger and the ring finger. Away, you know, you turned your hand over. You got to keep your hand like this, pointing up at the ceiling. Pointing up at the ceiling, flat.
You want the just this.
You got it. Okay. Thank you for helping, Leslie. So now turn it around and hold it like this. Hold it up like this. Now come around and pick up the one in between and push it up over the middle finger and the ring finger. So then it's going to look like this.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And now what you're going to do is pick up the one that hangs down. I just pulled them out a little so they're easy to pick up. The one that's around the little finger, make a little loop with it. And now you're going to pick pointer finger in one and middle finger in the other and pull down like this.
This?
And then it should look like that. Yeah. Now this is the really tricky part, okay? Your pointer, your middle finger and your ring finger don't usually work together to do anything, but they're gonna be the helpers that grab the two strings in the middle. Bernard, watch
Bernard,
these fingers.
Bernard kind of did it.
It doesn't matter if it's twisted at the bottom. It's okay. It's still going to work even if it's a little twisted at the bottom. Now, Bernard, look at those two fingers in the middle. The middle finger and the ring finger. Okay? And now they're going to bend down and go, the middle finger goes around the string, and the ring finger goes around the other string of the two that are in the middle, like this. And then you've got to keep your pointer and little finger sticking out like horns, right? Because now what you're going to do is bend over and put all those four strings behind your hand. And that little one on the back of the middle and ring finger, you're going to pull it up, and those four strings you brought over get threaded in. That's putting the wicks into the candle molds when I tell the story. This is, now that I'm teaching it, I see this is a trickier one to teach than I remembered. It is very tricky to get it just right. So let me just finish and then we'll see. You take the one that's hanging down, the short one behind those two, and pull it up in between those two ring and middle fingers. When you pull that up, that's what makes the candles. And this is what makes the rocking chair. You hang it there and pick these up. Boy, I can see this is actually not an easy one to do. I thought it would be much easier because I was remembering. See, I didn't even remember how to do it correctly. So I'm sorry, I think this was not a good one to choose for this first lesson when we haven't been doing it for a while. And then you turn it sideways like this and drop it, and that's what makes the scissors. And then you just drop the pointer finger, and there's the big candle in the candle holder. So that's my version of that story. You know, let's take a break and watch that video that I mentioned to Marin in the, you want to call her? Is she still there?
I'm right here. Yeah.
Oh, you're there. I didn't see you. Let me, now I'm not sure how this is going to work on the way the screen is arranged, but I'll just do my best. I don't know if you're going to see the video. I've never done screen sharing with this program, so I'm not sure what to do. Huh. Well, that's funny. I'm not sure how to do this because I've only done screen sharing in Zoom. You know, we may have to end this and switch over to Zoom. I'll send you an invite to Zoom. I think that's what we should do. So
Okay.
let's just end it. I'll send you an email right away so we can do that share. Thanks.